Hi, today I'll be speaking about the pros of self-publishing. And obviously there's tons of pros to traditional publishing, and obviously not, you know, paying for your own advertising or bothering like friends and family to check it out to try to move your book up the bestsellers list. So but let's not get into the negatives of self-publishing. This is just going to be the pros of it. Um, so let's see. Let's begin. Well, content, and that's a big thing. It's whatever you decide to put out there, you can put out there. Obviously there's certain places you can't go, but like uh, I did a book called Cradle to the Coffin, the Fable of Dracula and Lulu, and it is a pretty big, almost like let's say, I guess a grim fairy tale style book, but it's pretty disturbing, really adventurous, and heartbreaking, and there's just no way that with the content that I have in the book that I would be able to get it through a traditional publisher. But I thought the story was really cool. I think the story is amazing, and I needed to get it out there in the world. I'm not gonna not do it because, you know, it wouldn't fly through traditional publishers. And self-publishing, I can take that idea and put it out into the world, and it's awesome. There's nothing stopping any of the content. There's nothing, telling me, oh no, that's going too far. It can be raw, it can be heartbreaking, it can be horrific, and these scenes, I think, move the story forward, but I would have to cut those out or edit them down or soften them up through a traditional publisher. So it's like I can totally fully express myself artistically self-publishing, and that's super cool. And just my new book, the Calapooia Girl, also, that deals with some subjects that are going on in the world, you know what I mean, that like could be considered controversial, and yeah, I mean, I don't want to have to ask for permission or go through these hoops or whatnot to put it out there, and the book is not political or anything like that. It just deals with things that happen, and I don't want to give anything away, but like, I'm not going to say like, hey, like, let me do this or take things out when I think it moves the story forward. You know what I mean? Nothing's stopping me from moving my story forward the way I see fit, and that's the awesome thing about self-publishing. And another thing too, page count. Traditional publishers, to get out a book, you need to, kind of hit a page count most of the time for them to consider it, I guess, good enough or long enough to be a book out on the market. Well, as you know, as you probably read a lot of books, if you're watching this, there is a ton of filler, and there's a lot of times where they just got to almost put the story to a screeching halt because they got to get page number, word count up, and they're putting in, filling in, whatnot. It might not even be good for character development. It might not even be good moving the story forward, but they have to hit a certain number. Well, when I'm doing a book, I go at it, and it's just like, it's a flow, and there's nothing stopping me. If the book goes on forever, and goes on really long, it goes on really long. If the book is short, but I get the the feeling I want, the flow, I know it's weird to say flow, but it's the flow of the book, and it's like a perfect song, and it just, from beginning to end, and the beat picks up tempo, it slows down where it needs to, and it's just this flow, and I don't have any fillers. I don't need any fillers. I'm not constrained by fillers. And yet, don't get me wrong, I tried to do a book which I thought was really good, but I needed to add to it because I thought, hey, I want to try to make it up to like the standard of traditional publishing word count. And after I read the book, when I was done, it was awesome. I read the book after I tried to do all this fillers and whatnot, and it just lost its flow. It was just, I jumped into some weird places and just trying to like pad the book, and it was crap. And so I ended up just deleting everything I put into it. I can't abide by you know, messing up a flow or the story or your vision for a word count. And that's the good thing about self-publishing. You don't have to do that at all. And you know, and you just got to forget about the pressures of doing it and just make the best quality work possible. And I believe when you're writing the story, it doesn't matter how long it is or how short it is, as long as there's no fillers and no whatnot, I believe it's a better story. It almost feels more cinematic. At least my books do when I'm not trying to add in fillers. And that's, you know, me personally. But I think you'll find a lot of self-published artists that run into that and then realize, like, no, I need to put out quality work, not a number count. And I think that's really it's my favorite thing about it, actually, because like I can just see this picture, this story in my head, flow it out, and then go through it again and just totally feel it, and then like watch for the beats, add a beat if I want to, or you know what I mean, or whatnot. And then I don't have to pad it, you know. I'm not doing it to appease any publisher or bigwig somewhere. And so anyways, those are the pros for me. And obviously there's some money to be made, but you know, if you're going to try to get something out and just, you know, make as much money as possible, like as quick as possible, traditional publishing, if you get picked up, that's the best way to go. So I'm not saying don't do that, but for me personally, I just love the art of it. I love writing. I love seeing my stories come to life and hit the page, and with no compromise. And yeah, so anyways, those are my pros. There's probably some more that I'll come out with and tell you about, but yeah. Oh, and if you're interested in any of my books that I talked about, I'll have links below, so you can go check them out. And also link to my Patreon also, if you feel like supporting me. Obviously read my work first, but you could probably read some of my stuff on Patreon also. But yeah, read my work first, and if you enjoy it, you know, think about supporting me, help to keep the fires burning, and yeah, and I'll keep pumping out some cool stuff. All right, take it easy, guys.